Charan and our Sumiran. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Okay, let's see if y'all can hear this audio. The audio is coming out okay with the harmonium and voice. Okay, we'll start. We'll start with our Mangalacharan at the beginning of Balka. Varnana Nisana Rasana Chandasa Mapi Mangalam Chakatara Vande Param Shankara Vande Shraddha Vishwasari Sahasramishwaram Vande Puram Gurum Shankararupinam Yamam Shrito Hi Bhaktopi Chandrasevam Pravandyate Sitaram Rama Punyam Randeharinam Vande Shodhavidyam Kavishwar Kavishwar Sriti Santoram Karini Kleshahari Sarvashyaskari Sitam Natoham Ramavallabham Yam Shavarti Vishwamatala Brahmadi Brahmapuram Yatsatvaram Shaivanati Sakalam Rajayam Devamaham Yantamam Sumiran now. Same right after the Mangalasharan comes the Avadi Sumiran. So we'll chant that. So we are seeing Aranyakanda. Actually, we're almost at the end of our Aranyakanda. The kanda that some people don't like to read and chant and sing and study because it is the kanda in which our Sitaji gets kidnapped. And so some people just say, okay, we're going to go straight from Ayodhya Kanda to Kishkinda Kanda. Leave this Aranyakanda. But ironically, the Aranyakanda happens to be a perfect parallel to our forest of samsara. The samsara is described as an ocean sometimes, but is also described as a forest. Our forest of delusion is a perfect parallel to what happens in Aranyakanda. So let us see the remaining chaupais and dohas. And then, if we have time, we can reflect a little bit on how this Aranyakanda is exactly like the world in which we live in, and the sequence of events and how it happens. It has so much to teach us about how we're supposed to go about our life's journey. Right? So let us see the remaining verses, and then we'll study that. We finished verse Doha 45 last time. We're in the section where Bhagavan Sri Rama is describing to Nārada the qualities of a saint. Nārada had seen Bhagavan Sri Rama sitting at the Pampa lake, and he had thought to himself, it is because of me. Bhagavan is here and he is so sad. Bhagavan is playing the role of a human being at this time. So he's sad, he's missing Sitaji, he's thinking about when he's going to find her and all of that. He's playing that role perfectly. And as he's playing the role of that, Nārada sees him and he says, let me go because it's my fault that he's here. And in a wonderful discussion that ensues, so many things they talk about, we're at the end of that discussion where Nārada has asked Bhagavan Sri Rama to tell him the qualities of a saint, Santa Lakshana. And with great compassion, Bhagavan Sri Rama starts to tell these Santa Lakshanas to Nārada Muni. Nārada is a saint himself, but he has asked Bhagavan to tell him the qualities of a saint, not because he wants to hear his own glories. Just now we'll see. Saints don't like to hear their own glories. It's not because of that. It is for our benefit that he ended up asking, because there's that phrase, if you have been in satsang, you would have heard this phrase before in English or in Sanskrit. Siddhakasya lakshanani, sadhakasya sadhanani. The qualities of a realized master or of an established person, of a siddha, an established person, become the lakshana, the sadhanas, they become the sadhanas, the spiritual practices for sadhakas. So we are sadhakas, we are spiritual seekers. We are trying to reach the perfection that the established masters have reached. We're trying to seek the happiness that is their very nature. And so whatever it is that they do naturally is given as a guide for us to practice to get there. So they are spontaneously expressing these things, but they become things that we try to emulate, not imitate, we try to emulate with the hope of developing those qualities in that direction. The interesting thing, ironic would be the right word. The ironic thing about us is that we want the result of the sadhana, but we don't want to do it. We want the result of being healthy, but we don't want to eat healthy food and exercise. We want the result of satsang, or we want the result of all these spiritual sadhanas that are given. Purity of mind, free from worry, free from stress, but we don't want to do the sadhana that is going to give us that. We're not prepared to do what is required for the result that we actually want. Ironic, isn't it? It's like somebody going to a shop and wanting to buy something but not wanting to pay. I mean, you laugh at that person, everyone's chuckling, but that is exactly our biography when it comes to the practice of sadhana. And the thing about sadhana is no one can do it for us. Sadhana is the one thing that we have to do for ourselves. And so we have to be ready on this spiritual path to make our mind ready to do whatever it takes, to be prepared to do whatever it takes to make that mind worry-free. And unfortunately, we can't go and buy peace of mind. Not from Costco in bulk size, not from the Chinese store in like mini size, not from anywhere. We cannot buy peace of mind. Peace of mind is the thing that we want the most in the world. But the only thing that we can get it with is the sadhanas that are given. The test of this, the thing that we want most, the test for this is you find a very rich person whose mind is torturing that person. Find a very rich person whose mind is torturing them. And you ask them, how much are you willing to pay for peace of mind? They will give you a value. I'm willing to give $1 million if you can guarantee me peace of mind. Correct or wrong? For a billionaire, what's $1 million? Nothing. But I am not willing to sit and do japa. I'm not willing to sit and do that which is free. I want to buy it. You know, we're consumerists. No, we want to buy everything, but we can't buy this. And so this section of Santa Lakshana is given to indicate to us the spiritual practices that we should try to imbibe in the direction of bringing peace into our life. So it's not, okay, nice for you, Nāraji, you're getting to hear all these wonderful qualities about yourself. Okay, let's move on, next section, right? It's for us. It is being asked for us to learn from. So whatever is told is their nature, but it becomes our practice. I can't remember if I had told this last week, so I thought we'll start with this week. Okay, so now, oh, and one more thing. So many qualities we saw last week. And each of those qualities could take a whole satsang to really think about. And today also we're going to see so many. And each of these, again, you could spend a whole satsang on it. A whole yajna can go just on this Santa Lakshana. But one sadhana that we take up with sincerity is enough. You know, so of the list, either last week's or this week's, you find one that appeals to you. And you hold on to it and you do it with such vehemence that it will end up pulling all the other sadhanas as well. So you don't need to try to become perfect in all. You just try to become perfect in one. With this, now let us see what Bhagavan Sri Rama is telling Nāraji about the qualities of a saint. This is after 45 in Aranyakanda. Someone can type the page in the chat. Mudita mama pada priti maya verati veda vinaya vedya bodhi jana veda murana damba naka hulina vedita gāvani Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya. When I get good at playing this harmonium, maybe I'll get one of those electric, not electric, you know, the automatic tabla. So we can have actual nice Ramayana. Okay. Anyways, that's a one day kind of dream. Nija guna shravana sunata sakuchahi. Nija guna sunata shravana sunata sakuchahi. Remember, now we're continuing to talk about the qualities of a saint. Bhagavan Sri Rama himself is describing the qualities of a saint. That is how special this section is, eh? He says, we love the saint is one who feels embarrassed to listen to their praise from others. Now, Nārada is listening to his praise technically. I mean, as a saint, right? But put that aside. When a great person hears themselves being praised, they try to change the topic very quickly. They zone out. They don't listen. You'll notice any of our, our wonderful Swamijis, when they're being introduced, if it's not the standard bio that's being read and someone's actually telling something special, you can see in their face, they want this to end. Like, they don't want to hear this, because they feel embarrassed to listen to their own gunas. You compare that to us. That is the exact opposite of us. We love to listen to our praise. Oh, what did they say about me? Said something about me? If, somebody is part of a program, like they're organizing a program, and at the end, the person comes and he gives vote of thanks, and he doesn't say your name. And you did something like you came and opened the ashram early one day. Of the 8 days, you came in, or over the 9 days, you came and you opened the ashram one day. Well, you're waiting to hear your name. I was part of the Seva team. And then if your name doesn't get called, you feel like, no, but I did something, he must have just forgotten me. We love, love, love to listen to our praises. We're always waiting for compliments at the end. Huh? If we don't hear the compliment about ourselves, we're like, oh, you said something, I didn't hear you. Say something, right? Or if somebody, I notice this a lot here in Guyana, if somebody sings a bhajan at a mandir, it's like people clap for them, and it's like they're people waiting to tell them how wonderful they did, But the point of singing is not to be told you sang well. The point of singing is singing for Bhagavan. So we shouldn't be seeking any kind of praise. That is, the point of this is we should try to move in the direction where we don't seek praise. It means our ears are not excited to hear our own praise. It will come if it has to. You can't control that. But you don't want to hear it. Because like that sannyasi who used to, not the sannyasi. There was a great king who used to give, he was a great danvir. He used to give anything that anybody asked, he used to give wholeheartedly. And one day a sannyasi came to him and he said, I don't want to ask for anything. I want to ask you a question. He said, whenever you give anything, I see that you put your head down and you give. I want to know why you put your head down when you're giving. And he said, because when they ask for something and I give it, they thank me. I mean, thank you so much. And they thank me. They feel I'm the one who's giving. But I put my head down because really I know I am not the one who's giving. It's Bhagavan who's giving. But the praise is coming to me. So that head is put down to remind themselves, I don't deserve this praise. And if you think about it a little bit, it's the exact thing with anything that we claim praise for in our life. Actually, the credit goes to Bhagavan. And then the other side of that is Paraguna Sunata Adhika Harashahi. Hearing the gunas, the qualities, the greatness of other people, they're very happy. And this again is exact opposite of us. When we hear other people being praised, what happens in most of our hearts? Jealousy comes. Oh, everyone thinks they're so great. I mean, we'll go through phases of it also, and we'll go through degrees of it also, depending on who the person is, what our relationship with them is, and all of that. But that tendency to feel jealousy when someone who is our equal is being praised is very much there, right? Someone who's equal to us, who we feel we ought to be like them, and they're being praised, that feeling is natural. But a saint means it's natural to someone who's a samsari. But a saint is someone who has removed that tendency from their heart because they genuinely like to hear other people's praises, right? Okay, this disease of hearing our praise, it's food for the ego. It's not just food for the ego. It's like, you know, in those video games, there's like, you can collect coins and then you get certain things, and then you can collect like super things that give you like super powers. Well, this praise is like the super power giving thing to the ego. It's like the thing that really blows up our ego. So it's a very dangerous thing, and it's something we should watch out for. It's so insidious and it's so subtle. Even Nārada himself fell prey to this. Fell prey to this. In Balkan, do you remember that story? That whole thing started again here with that section only. He heard how, oh, Nārada is so great. He's greater than Lord Shiva. He conquered not just Kama, he conquered Krodha, Lobha, everything also. And that praise got to his head, and look at how he fell as a result of it. Of course, that is Leela for our benefit, and that is Bhagavan showing how he will protect us no matter what if we're his devotee. But praise is a very insidious thing. We have to be very, very careful about it. Okay, next. Sama. The Santa, the saint is Sama. He's balanced. This, when Samatvam comes up so many times in Bhagavad Gita. Right? In fact, Bhagavad Gita is given in the middle of the battlefield to show that only when the mind is in a state of samatvam, in a state of balance, then only this knowledge can actually be heard. There's symbolism in that physical location where this Gita is being given also. We teach the kids, in joy and pain, I remain the same. You have some titiksha, right? It's hot or it's cold, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's life, right? It's going to have ups and downs. The world is going to have ups and downs. But if we let our mind go, if we let our mind go with these ups and downs, then we can't keep it on our duty. That's the problem. When the mind goes with the ups and downs, oh, very joyous, very sorrowful, in that up and down emotional roller coaster, it leaves duty behind. It leaves Bhagavan behind, and it left to the whims and fancies of the world, like that. So, well, holding on to Bhagavan, I think it's like holding onto a surfboard. It's called a surf. I mean, I shouldn't maybe give this example because I don't surf, so I don't know if it's correct. But from looking, like the waves come and go, and if you're holding on, it's called a surfboard, right? If you're holding onto it, then or you know how to stand on it, then the waves coming and going makes it fun, right? If you're holding on to Bhagavan, then it's fun to feel the ups and downs of the world come. But if not, then, well, you're going to fall and you're going to, I don't know, probably what will happen to me. Samatvam, super important quality. It comes, oh God, we count, I think it comes like 23 or 20, at least 23 times in Bhagavad Gita. The concept of Samatvam comes. So common it is. At least that many times. Okay. Sitala. Sitala means cool. You know, we use the word cool. Oh, he's so cool. Well, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, but Bhagavan Sri Rama used that word first. He's cool. A saint is cool. Not a new invention, eh? Bhagavan Ram started it. But the point is they're so chill that nothing can break their peace. That kind of calmness is there about their personality that it cannot be broken. You think about what it is that breaks our peace. You're sitting for japa, and then you feel a little flick, and you're like, oh my God, is that another mosquito coming to bite me? And then you open your eyes and it's just your own hair. Or I mean, the things that break our peace are just you can't even, it starts with the tiniest little vibration of your phone, and it goes to the biggest mountain of sorrow in this world, right? Our peace is very, very easily broken, but they're sitala, they're cool, their mind is so chill that it can't be broken. Nahi tyagahi niti. They never give up proper conduct. They never compromise on morals. They never compromise on ethical behavior. If you think about what it is that makes us compromise on morals or ethics or our conduct, what is it that makes us lie? Is it not that all of us know we shouldn't be lying? Everybody knows. I mean, you ask a 3-year-old and they'll tell you that you shouldn't lie. But it is usually desire that makes us transgress our proper conduct. It is a desire to be perceived in a certain way, or to get a certain thing, or to be saved from some kind of trouble, that we will gravitate to lying. And we don't see the consequence of it and all, that's different. But the thing that encourages us to break proper conduct, knowing what proper conduct is theoretically, is usually some desire. If you observe, you'll see it is a desire that causes that. Now, a saint, they have no desire because they have no selfish motive, and there's nothing they want. What do they want? They want to see welfare of the world only. That's not a selfish desire. So that doesn't fall in this bucket. And so because of that, their mind doesn't have the agitations that ours does. And their mind is so pure that it doesn't transgress what it shouldn't transgress. In fact, a saint cannot even imagine doing something otherwise. A saint cannot, there are some people like that. It hurts them to do something wrong. Have you seen? There's some people, it just hurts their heart to do something wrong. Or like some people, it just, Swami Tapovanji Maharaj, he was going up Kailash. I think he was up to Kailash or somewhere, up some mountain. He went on so many mountains. I can't remember which one. He was going on a horseback or something. He was being carried on some animal. And after a few minutes, he got down and he said, I can't do this. I can't bear to do this to this animal. Look at that. He was sick. He was suffering, but he said, I cannot do this to this animal. It hurt him more to do it to put that animal through that than it did for him to use every ounce of his life to go up that mountain. That's the quality of a saint. Yudhishthira, I feel he's probably still feeling bad about the lie that he had to tell to Dronacharya that Ashwathama is dead. Like, he must still be feeling bad up there in Swarga, even though it was for dharma, because there's some people who just feel bad about doing what is wrong. And so this is a nice test for our mind. How bad do I feel when I do something? Because the reality of the situation is we are going to do wrong things. We are going to transgress dharma. We are going to transgress proper conduct. We are going to do wrong things, right? I mean, so many lifetimes we've been doing. Suddenly you hear, don't do. It's not going to change. We're going to do. But what should happen is, over time, how bad we feel should increase. And as it increases, it will increase to the point where I feel so bad that I'd rather not do the thing that I was going to do. So for some people it will happen very quickly, and for some people it will be gradual, but we should be tending in this direction. Okay. Nahi tyagahi niti. They never, never, ever give up proper conduct. Sarala subhav. They have a very simple nature. Because there's no wickedness in their heart. There's no ulterior motives. There's nothing to hide. They're 100% genuine 100% of the time. It came in Navada Bhakti. Sarala Subhava Namana Kutilai or something like that was the one, right? You know what this is like. If you have met our Puja Guruji, he's like the example of this. You will not see simple Sarala Subhava portrayed more simply than it is and perfectly than in our Puja Guruji. Yeah, those who have met him, you know what I'm talking about? It's just like when he's tired, he'll yawn in front of everybody and be like, okay, now I'm tired. Now let's go. Like that, like time to sleep. Like, so honestly innocent in all of their feelings, but filled with love at the same time. You know, it's like, it's this rare combination that you don't see in normal people of love, genuineness, innocence, kindness, all of it mixed together in just being a simple, genuine, transparent, wonderful person. That is who a saint is. Whenever I hear this word, I don't remember Bhagavan Ram, I remember Guruji. Because really, he's the one who has embodied it in front of me like that. Right? This kind of simple, sweet nature. Sabahi sana priti, loving with all. You know, we see my people versus your people. This was Arjuna's problem. How can I kill my people even though they are atatayanaha, the most diabolical sinners in the world? But how can I kill them? Because they were my people. He fought with Lord Shiva, but he did not want to over like shooting a boar at the same time. But how can I kill my people? Because they are my people. We have this, my versus your, very, very strong. Saints don't have it. They're loving with all. In fact, they're so loving with all that there's a story of a saint, I don't remember which one. A robber had come into his kutia one time, and that robber was trying to steal. And this saint turned on the light and so lovingly spoke to that robber. In fact, he told him, where's money, where's this? He asked him if he wants some food and all of that, right? And that robber ended up not stealing from him and left. So much love he gave. It so happened that like the next day or something, that robber went and got caught for stealing somewhere else, something else. And he went to jail for some 5 or 10 years or something. And then after this time passed, the robber was released and he came out of jail. And now he comes back to this saint after 10 years or 5 years. I can't remember the number. But when he comes back, he doesn't come back to steal. He says, I have come this time to rob you of that which allowed you to be so loving to me. That was he couldn't forget that loving interaction of the saint. That's who saints are. They see, it's just love, and I'm seeing nods and all. I think you all know what I'm talking about because you'll all have a person in your life also who embodies this, right? So this is our saint is loving with all. Sabahi sana, loving with everybody. Not only good people, loving with everybody. Japa, tapa, brata, dhamma. Oh, on that topic, let me tell you one. Usually we feel scared of robbers and bandits and bad guys and all of that, right? Swami Tapovanam, when he was on all of his journeys and all, a few times he met robbers and they would come to him and they would end up bringing food for him because of how they realized what a wonderful person he was, and they saw he's hungry and they were like, wait, we have food, let us bring some for you. This is what happens when you give love, you get love back. We're scared to give. I don't know why we're scared to give blood. We have so much to lose. I think that's what it is. We feel like we have so much to lose, but actually he had nothing. I mean, what will they come and steal? He literally had nothing, right? So he had no fear. And that fearlessness allowed him to be just loving. It takes fearlessness to love then, I guess, you know? But yeah, loving to all. Okay. Japa tapa, brata dhamma, sanjama, nema. They, when they take a vow, discipline, when they take up the discipline, they are disciplined in their japa. Everyone knows japa. Tapa, their tapas. Any kind of discipline that burns will be called tapas. Any kind of pain that we go through in doing something to grow spiritually will be tapas. Brata means vrata. I take a vow. Dhamma, sense control. And sanjama, mind control of mind. Nema, they're very, very disciplined in these things. You can take discipline as its own thing, or you can say discipline in all of these things, right? Now see, it means if he says he's going to do japa before he eats, he is going to do japa before he eats. He's not going to say, well, today I'm not feeling well, so exception. How we brush our teeth before we eat, like that is in his mind. If I have said I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. If I said I'm going to do 108 malas today, I'm going to do 108 malas today, or in 2 days or whatever. That kind of discipline he doesn't break. When he takes up tapas, he does not change his mind. When you read the life of Swami Tapovanam, I was telling last week that we just finished reading this Ishvara Darshan, the biography or autobiography of Swami Tapovanam. And when you read it, he literally embodies every single one of these qualities. When I read it, every time that you read it, you feel like it literally reminds you like you're doing absolutely no tapas in your life. The amount of tapas that he did puts all of our tapas together for all our life to shame. That is the amount of tapas. I'm not exaggerating. That is the amount of tapas that he has done. And so discipline and tapas, you have to see Swami Tapovanam to see what really this line means, right? Vrata. If he takes a vrata, makes a promise, he doesn't go back on it, even to himself. During our course, oh my God, I just remember this. During our Vedanta course, there's something called, vrata and sankalpa are similar, right? Sankalpa is like a vow that you take. Vrata is like a vow that you take. So during our course, when we had been encouraged to take up vows like that, people started to say, well, I'm taking a vague sankalpa. A vague sankalpa means I'm not fully committed, but it's a sankalpa. That's like an oxymoron. But that's how our vratas are. They're vague. Yes. I promise I'm going to do this, but it is breakable. If we take a vrata, we are supposed to have a prayaschitta. Means we're supposed to have a punishment for if we break it. But the intention should not be to break it. The breaking is in emergencies. So actually, Swami Prakashananda says over and over again that anybody who really wants to progress on the spiritual path should always have a vrata that they're doing. Always. And when a vrata becomes easy, then you take up another vrata. You leave that going and you take up another. And then you take up another one. And like that, our life is supposed to continue. Dhamma. Dhamma is sense control. When Pujya Gurudev was in the Himalayas, he has described how when you want to have coffee, you drink Ganga Jal. When you want to have tea, you drink Ganga Jal. When you want to have Coke, you drink Ganga Jal. When you want to eat a laddu, you drink Ganga Jal. Dhamma, sense control, where it doesn't matter what your senses want, it matters what you want, right? So you control your senses and you let them go only where you want them to go. You let them see, hear, touch, taste, smell, only what it is that you permit your senses to do. Without Dhamma, we will very easily give up on the spiritual path. You know what lack of Dhamma looks like? A lack of Dhamma looks like, well, on Netflix, you know, before it used to be 15 seconds, then it came down to 10. Then the last time I was on Netflix, it's 5. I don't know if it's reduced since then. When one episode finishes or one movie finishes, there's a 5-second window before the next one starts, right? You know what I'm talking about? That bar goes like this, and then the next one starts to play. Well, Dhamma is before the 5 seconds are up, you click stop. Lack of Dhamma is my hand can't reach. My hand just, it's like paralyzed. You know, it can't reach. And before you know it, like 5 minutes of the next one have gone. In the thought that I shouldn't be watching this and it's past my bedtime. Dhamma, sense control. My senses do what I want, whenever I want, for as long as I want. Doom scrolling is not a thing that exists in the language of someone who has Dhamma. Over scrolling, overeating, oversleeping, undereating, undersleeping, none of these things exist in the vocabulary of somebody who has Dhamma. So you'll try Dhamma if you haven't yet, or try it more if you haven't enough. Dhamma. Then Sanyama. Samyama is control of mind. Control of mind. Our mind wanders so badly that it feels impossible to control. In fact, Arjuna says to Bhagavan, no, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, this mind is too fickle, it wanders too much. But it is required. It is so required. When Pujya Gurudev was studying with Swami Tapovanji Maharaj, Swami Tapovanji Maharaj had a condition that during class, you give me full attention. And I will only tell you anything one time. And if you don't remember, that day that I ask you and you don't remember, you leave. That was his condition. So imagine how much presence of mind is required to learn like that, right? Then, I'm working up to a story. Then one day, remember the classes used to happen outside, right? So now outside, one day, Swami Tapovan is sitting and Pujya Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda is sitting, and a cat passes behind Swami Tapovanam and crosses. Well, Gurudev's eyes went to the cat for 1 second while Swami Tapovanam was talking. And Swami Tapovanam canceled class for 2 days. Eyes just went for 1 second because a cat passed. See mind control? My mind stays where I tell it to stay. How much practice is required to get our mind to listen to us? Now, how to practice this? One really simple thing that we can do, like with no prior knowledge, no prior anything, the simplest sadhana a person can do to start controlling their mind, of course, while satsang and all goes on in the back in your life, but a really powerful technique for mind control is watching our breath. In Upadesha Saraswami, that's Swami, Sri Ramana Maharishi explains how the mind and the prana are 2 branches of the same tree, like 2 branches of the same tree. So if one is pulled, the other one comes. If one is controlled, the other one is controlled. So what happens in prana vikshana and watching our breath, we don't try to control it, we just watch it. And so voluntary mind is tied to a rhythmic involuntary breath. And in that process, we start to gain more control over our mind. It's very powerful. It's not going to give you moksha, but it's going to give you a level of mind control. So if you're thinking, well, all of these things, what do I do to start? That's a really good place to start for mind control in case you don't have other things that you can think about. It's not the only thing. I'm telling you one just basic, simple thing we can do. Because intense discipline is required to refine our personality, right? A saint's personality is so refined, not by magic, but by discipline. You read their biographies and then you realize how much discipline it took for them to become who it is that they are today, you know? Okay. And we're not doing this so that someone writes a book about us. Oh, yes, you know? What is it? Saint Gina. I'm waiting till somebody writes that book. Well, Guru Govinda Biprapada Prema. They have love or devotion, prema, love for the feet of Guru, Govinda, Bhagavan, and Vipra, Brahmanas, Purohits, all wise people like that. But see the order. Guru, Bhagavan, others, all wise people. Who's first? Guru. The Guru who teaches us knowledge about ourselves. The Guru who gives us Atmanyan, who teaches us love for Bhagavan, who teaches us the nature of Bhagavan. Bhagavan puts that Guru above him also. He puts the Guru above himself. You know, there's that famous Kabir Doha. Guru Govind dono khare. Both Guru and Govind are both standing in front of you. Whose feet should you touch first? And the answer is you go to your Guru first, because he's the one who tells you who is. Without him, you wouldn't even know who is Bhagavan. Gurudev, well, Swami Chinmayananda Gurudev, he said a really wonderful thing. He said, someone had asked him about this, what are we supposed to do? And he said, don't worry, I will also be at Bhagavan's feet. So sweet, isn't it? But see, the point is that Bhagavan puts even Guru above himself. Then only all the other learned people come after that. But still, great devotion. After means not that they're lesser. It just means in Bhagavan's mind, that is how important Guru is in our life, how important Bhagavan is, and all wise people. Very, very important in our life. How do we express our devotion? I mean, the Guru is not going to be with you 24/7. And even if they are, you can't go and hold their feet all day and wash it all day and that's like lack of love for them. That's torture for them. So you can't go and physically express your devotion like that. We express our devotion by listening to them, by practicing what they teach, by trying to see the world the way they see it, by making all the sacrifices that they've made in their life worthwhile, by being the person that they're inspiring us to become. We shouldn't be the kind of person. There's devotees who spend a lot of time in the mandir and they're terrible people. Have you seen? Just physically spending time with Bhagavan is not real devotion. In the same way, just physically spending time with our Guru doesn't make us a real devotee or student. It's not just physical presence. It's not just thinking. It's actually what is going to happen as a result of that. That is the question. Okay. Shraddha. Shraddha is the next one. Shraddha is faith. One who has faith can never worry. That's a principle. And the corollary is that one who worries can never have faith. Now, when we hear this word faith, so you have to check yourself. Where do I fall? Right? One who has faith can never worry, and one who worries can never have faith, or does not have faith. Not can never have faith, but those two can't coexist. They're not. They're mutually exclusive. They're mutually exclusive. Now, when we hear the word faith, we think of blind faith, right? I mean, we think, oh, blind faith, this religion, but actually, It starts off blind. Forget starts off blind. We are born with infinite blind faith. We have blind faith in our parents when we're born. As we grow up, we have blind faith in all those around us. We have blind faith in the pilots that drive our planes. We have blind faith in the roads that we drive on. We have blind faith in brand names. Is it not? You tell me, a no-name airplane company is selling a ticket from Guyana to Toronto for 100 US. And a known name company is selling the same ticket for $800. Which one are you going to take? Shraddha in what? Not your prarabdha. Shraddha in brand name. Then say the pilot of that first airline was hired by the second airline. So now the same pilot who is going to get you there for $100, you're going to pay $800 for them now. Why? Because I have faith in the brand name. Please, I'm not telling you to go book whatever. That's not the point. Before you come and tell me, look what you made me do. The point is that we have endless blind faith. Somehow we don't have blind faith in our siblings when we're young, but we have faith in everyone else. I will listen to anybody except my sister or my brother at that age, right? But we say we don't like blind faith. We don't like that word. But that's just when it comes to religion, you know? Many people have blind faith in social media, or at least used to, or gone through some phase of it, you know? But in our tradition, Shraddha is a function of the intellect. It is not blind. In Taittiriya Upanishad, the head of the intellect is described as Shraddha. Each like our intellect and all, each thing is given like a personification. The head of the intellect is Shraddha. Shraddha is a function of the intellect, actually. We're supposed to, in this tradition, have Shraddha in 4 things. Sometimes they say 5. It could fall under the 4. Brahman, reality, divinity, God, whatever word. That is the first. 2, Shraddha in Shastra, that which tells us about Brahman, the reality God. Shraddha in Guru, the one without whom we wouldn't understand Shastra also. And 4th, Shraddha in our own selves. That I can do this. Most of us might have Shraddha in Bhagavan, Shraddha in Shastra, Shraddha in Guru, but we lack Shraddha in our own capacity. And the 5th, sometimes a 5th one is added, Shraddha in Sadhana. Shraddha in the fact that if I do this sadhana, I will get the result. If I do this sadhana, it is impossible for me to not get moksha. It is impossible for me to not get permanent happiness. Like that. So Shraddha in these things. Shraddha. Chama. Chama is forgiveness. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya describes in one place that true forgiveness is where you don't even feel someone made a mistake. You know when your teeth bite your tongue? Does your tongue need to say, "Oh, I forgive you"? There's an instant unspoken forgiveness because there's a feeling of oneness. A saint feels oneness. That is how they can have this kind of instant forgiveness. They don't even feel someone made a mistake because the saint understands that everything that is happening in this universe is happening exactly as it should, exactly as it ought to. It is just Bhagavan's Leela. It is just Bhagavan's manifestation. Everything is Bhagavan. That is one perspective. The other perspective is, it's my prarabdha. They're the Amazon delivery guy, just bringing my own karma packaged in this box of karma for me. How can I get angry at the Amazon guy for bringing something that I don't like in the box that I ordered and forgot about. Right? That is how they feel, right? So like this, they don't even feel someone has made a mistake in the first place. And you'll see Bhagavan describe forgiveness again in Sundarkand, how he forgives. Well, when it comes, we'll see it. Why tell you now? We'll see it then, right? Okay. Mayatri. Mayatri is friendliness. It's not friendship, it's friendliness. I don't know if you all, I mean, I don't know which generation you grew up in or your kids or whatever. There's this famous show called Friends, and many people might have heard it or heard of it. And the theme song of that series called Friends is "I'll be there for you 'cause you're there for me too." This is about friendship. But what is the definition of friendship? I will be there for you. Why? Because you are there for me too. That's the kind of friendship we want. Ooh, unconditional friendship is what is actually sought and actually talked about. Huh? Friendliness. A saint is friendly with anyone. If somebody has best friends, usually they're the most unfriendly person. Have you noticed? Anybody who has like a clique of BFFs, they're the unfriendly group. So having a best friend is no guarantee that you're a friendly person. In fact, it might be the opposite. Saints don't have best friends. They're friendly with all. Huh? And one of the best examples of this is Nārada himself. You know, Nārada goes to anywhere and he is welcome as a friend. Have you seen? He's revered, he's respected, he's welcomed. He goes to Kamsa also, right? And he's received with great respect over there, even though he's come bearing bad news. Right? He's invited everywhere because he's friendly to all. He has everybody's best interest at heart. Daya. Daya, compassion. Compassion is understanding the other person's pain. It is understanding their actions, their unspoken feelings. And the example for compassion is, well, when I see you, what I see, I recognize is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole iceberg underneath that I can't see. All I can see is this tip, this little action that you've done. But I cannot see what caused it, but I know there is something. So instead of feeling anger for something someone did, they feel compassion. And the feeling is, how sad that they have to be going through that to be able to do something like this or say something like this. So, or what they must be feeling to be able to act this way. So it's a compassion for how can you do something like that? It's only because there's something really troubling inside of you, you know? And with that understanding, they're able to express this kind of compassion. That's one way to look at it. So if you want to develop more compassion, well, one is you treat others the way you want to be treated. And we treat ourselves with tremendous compassion. In fact, we have like 100% capacity to practice compassion just towards ourselves. So that compassion we have for ourselves just has to be turned a little bit now and sent outwards. We have to redirect our compassion outwards. We know what compassion is, endless compassion. You were supposed to bring food for everybody at the office today. Oh, I forgot. Instant. Oh, I forgot because this whole reason is there. Huh? Compassion and forgiveness go together, right? But we have instant compassion for ourselves. We just have to extend it. Right? Okay. So I thought we would have finished by now. I had so many more things I wanted to say. Let us see if we can go faster. Mudita. Mama pada priti amaya. Oh, mudita. Okay, let's see mudita first. Cheerfulness. Cheerfulness is a quality of a saint. Have you ever seen a sad saint? Sad saint oxymoron. Mana prasanna is a quality of our Bhagavan Sri Rama. It is also a quality of saints. For us, it is hard for our mind to be cheerful or to stay cheerful because it is agitated. Agitation is what removes cheerfulness of mind. But they don't have agitation, so they're cheerful. And cheerfulness outside means cheerfulness inside. Have you seen sometimes you are cheerful in a group of, in a social setting, you have to be cheerful. Otherwise, people are just going to banish you or think you're weird or I don't know. You'll have some calculation in your mind where you're feeling miserable inside, but you're putting a face of cheerfulness outside. That is not what is being talked about here. What is being talked about here is it's an inner cheerfulness that is naturally coming out as an outer cheerfulness. There's a big difference between the two. Even externally, someone can tell if it's an external cheerfulness or if it's an internal expression of cheerfulness. So we're striving for that. Actually, all of these qualities of a saint are actually qualities of Bhagavan. Is it not? If you missed the first 1 minute or 5 minutes where I said these are the qualities of a saint, and you jumped in midway, well, you would be thinking or describing Bhagavan. What's the difference between Bhagavan and a saint in these descriptions, really speaking? All the qualities of a saint are the same as Bhagavan. But the difference is that Bhagavan considers them greater than himself. He told in Shabari Katha that a bhakta is one who considers a saint even greater than me. Because for Bhagavan to have these qualities, well, he's Bhagavan. What's so special about Bhagavan being special? But for a human being to elevate himself to the status of these qualities, that is a very special thing. And that is why Bhagavan considers a saint more special than him. Because what they have done and achieved is a very special thing. Right? And so this quality of cheerfulness that Bhagavan has, that saints have, we try to emulate. Not cheerful when everything is okay, but cheerful in spite of everything not being okay. See Mirabai. See how she remained cheerful, irrespective. They brought poison, they brought snake, they brought humiliation, they brought insult, they brought everything. But her cheerfulness never went away. That's why we read autobiographies and biographies. That's why we study their lives. Because we see how in spite of everything, they remain cheerful. Bhagavan Krishna is the poster child for this. Poster child? Poster boy. But he's Bhagavan, so then you're like, don't give that example because he's Bhagavan. See Gurudev, what disease did he not have? His heart was operating at like 10% by the time he attained Mahasamadhi. What disease did he not have? But when you watch even his videos from his last days, you cannot tell. The cheerfulness just did not leave. Right? So anyways. Mama pada priti. Mama pada priti. Amaya. Without any hypocrisy, without any pretentiousness, love or devotion for my feet. Love for Bhagavan's feet. Love for what he stands on. Not just when we go to mandir, not just in front of others. That's hypocrisy. I will, when I am by myself, I'm however, but when people are around, I'll extra love on my face for Bhagavan, extra hands together. And we do these things. We all do these kinds of things. People are watching. I better close my eyes and say the opening prayers. Meanwhile, when you're home alone, opening prayers going on, satsang playing, and you're washing dishes or whatever. Why? We're supposed to have this kind of devotion without hypocrisy, meaning I am who I am, irrespective of people's presence or people's absence. Birati. Birati is dispassion. Bibeka, discrimination. Vinaya, humility. Jnana, wisdom. Birati is dispassion. Dispassion, well, dispassion means, vairagya means that I don't seek joy in the objects of the world. Why? Because I have correctly evaluated the source of happiness. And I have ascertained that the source of happiness is not objects. Happiness does not inhere in objects. And so if happiness is not in an object, then I'm not going to go looking for happiness in it. Like I know that sugar is not in chips. Salt is in chips. I mean, some chips have sugar also. Sugar is not in chips. You don't go, oh, I feel like eating something sweet. Let's get fries. You don't say that because you know that there's no sugar in the fries, right? So in the same way, when I know that happiness is not in the objects of the world, you don't say, oh, I want happiness. Let me go and buy something. Retail therapy. Let me go and spend time with somebody. Person. No happiness in people also. Let me go for a vacation. No happiness in circumstances also. I have clearly ascertained that happiness is in Sat. And so when I know the source of happiness, I don't run after things, people, circumstances in the world. It is like there's absolutely no expectation of support from a paper chair or a paper bed. A beautiful paper bed might be there, but you will not expect it to support you. It's paper. It's just meant for looks. That's what the objects of the world are. They have a function, but their function is not to give me joy. So someone who has dispassion has ascertained that there is no joy in those things. So the mind doesn't go because the mind goes to what it loves, what it finds joy in. And if it's not going to find joy there, why will it go there? Like that. Guruji describes Vairagya as the strength to not seek happiness in these things. It's a strength, it's a power, actually. Right? Okay. Discrimination. You know the word discrimination, when we use it with teenagers, they're like, what? We're supposed to have discrimination, but discrimination's bad. English has its own meaning of discrimination. This is not that discrimination. Discrimination, that's why we should use the Sanskrit words. Viveka means the discrimination, the separation between what is good for me, what is bad for me, what is dharma, what is adharma. And there's two things, and I have to make a separation between those two things. That is what viveka is. Yeah? So there's dharma, adharma. There is happiness, unhappiness. There is part and whole. There's shreyas and prayas, means what is good and what is pleasant. There is in Viveka, in Tattva Bodha, you'll see Atma, Anatma, Nitya, Anitya, like that. Endless Viveka is there. Discrimination means judging between two things to choose one. And the emblem or the symbol of discrimination is the Hamsa bird. Have you heard of the Hamsa bird? The Hamsa bird is the mystical bird, not mythological, mystical bird that is described in our tradition. It's a kind of swan that has the capacity to separate milk from water. So you have milk and you have water mixed, and there's no way to separate them. But the Hamsa bird has the capacity, meaning things in this world that are seemingly mixed in an inseparable way, Viveka is the capacity to sift through them and choose what is good versus what is bad, right? One day, at one point, we had the zero water filter. You know, like you have Brita and all these other filters. So we had a zero water filter, and it had reached the end of its life. Or no, I think we bought one that was spoiled. So a smell was coming through or something. So we had to return it. And then you can't return a used one. Something happened. And then we were like, okay, let's do an experiment. And so we put like a little bit of milk in it to see if it was a Hamsa bird. Water. First, only water was coming out because I mean, but then eventually the milk started coming out. So no. You have to find some entertainment in life also, you know. Anyways, Viveka and Vairagya are essential qualities that we need on our spiritual journey. You can't even start studying Tattva Bodha without them. Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya says Viveka, Vairagya, and a few more qualities before you can even enter the study of this Atmanya. Binaya. Binaya is humility. Guruji says that a person may have everything, knowledge, wealth, virtues, but if they're not humble, all is in vain. Is it not? Nobody likes arrogant people. Arrogance is like the smell, the rot around the personality that makes people stay away from us. Nobody likes arrogance, right? So when we have humility, everything becomes beautiful. And when we don't have humility, then it doesn't matter what we have. Huh? A saint has humility because they have acknowledged the true source of power. This is the same connected to the story of that king who would put his head down to give, right? Humility comes from really knowing that the source of power is not mine. So what is it to be proud about, right? And then Vijnana. Vijnana is wisdom, direct experience. Not book knowledge, but real knowledge. Your own personal knowledge. That's the difference between jnana and vijnana. One is theory and one is my experience, right? There's a day and night difference. You know, you tell me something. Somebody who has eaten, let's call an example of something like somebody who okay, let's take something everyone knows. Somebody who has eaten jalebi and somebody who has not eaten jalebi. So you have these two people. And now they've both come to you to describe to you what a jalebi tastes like. Huh? They can both say the exact same words to you. But is it not that the person who has eaten it, their words will have some different power, impact on you than the person who hasn't? Okay, leave eating also. Take this other thing, right? If somebody doesn't bake, and they go and explain to you now one day how to bake a cake. Huh? And they're telling you, you take flour, you take baking soda, you take this, you take that, and then you mix them, and then you put them together, and you put it in the oven. So that's person one. And then next to them, you have somebody who is a baker. They don't even need to say all the things that need to mix to explain to you how to bake. Correct or wrong? A personal experience comes with a different power in your explanation. Totally different power in your explanation. And somebody who has true wisdom, they don't just quote knowledge. They don't have to try to practice something. It is the spontaneous response of their own experience. And the principle is, and the reason that there's a difference is because there's a principle. The deeper it comes from someone, the deeper into the person that you're talking to, it will go. As deep as it's coming from me, to that depth, it will go into the person that I'm telling whatever I'm telling. So now, like if I'm teaching a Balvihar class and I'm teaching children, don't lie. And I have just lied about something to someone outside and come into the class and said that sentence to the children. Well, they will just hear the face value, like the candy wrapper, face value of what I said. Versus if I have spent even 1 week not lying. Said, okay, lying is something that, it's very hard to remove, but I'm going to talk to the Balvihar kids this week about lying. So at least for 1 week, I should really, really try my best not to lie. Huh? And so for 1 week, I make this deliberate effort to tell 0 lies. And then I come to that same class and I tell them the same sentence, don't lie. Is it not that there will be a difference? Not in the tone of the words, not in the physical words, but in the impact of the words that is made on the person. Huh? That is how, when saints talk to us, they say the same thing, but it hits differently. You hear that statement? No, it hits differently. It hits differently from a person who has direct experience. And so we can fake it till we make it. But people will know when we're faking it, because direct experience is totally different than theoretical knowledge. And a saint has a direct experience of happiness, Bhagavan, knowledge, whatever, however you want to say it. The sadhana that they're talking about, if they're not realized and they're on the path, then the practices that they have done, when they talk about it, it hits differently than if they haven't. Okay. I was like 100% sure we were finishing this kanda today, but the thing about these qualities is we could finish them in 5 minutes, or we might as well not do them then. Go and read it. Read the translation. Let's go to the next kanda. It's really beautiful to reflect on these, and we've barely touched the surface of each of them, right? So we go on thinking and we go on trying to think about them in such a way that we can bring them into our life. So we shall pause here, and I'll share a couple announcements, and then I will do closing prayer, and then we will, I'll open for anyone who wants to share anything, right? Just on Monday, we will be celebrating Deepavali across the world. All Hindus will be celebrating Diwali. In Chinmay Mission Guyana, we are doing a new program from 5:30 to 6 in the evening, Eastern time and Atlantic time, same time zone right now. For half an hour in the evening, we'll do a guided puja. So we are not doing the puja. I will not have the samagri. I will not be doing the offerings. You will be doing the puja. Okay, so whoever is interested will log in on Zoom, and we will go through the steps. We will explain what each step is. We will chant the mantras together, and you at your own home, at your own altar, to your own Lakshmi Ma, will make your offerings and go through a short, simple, very simple, small puja. And once that puja is done, then with that diya, you light the rest of the diyas in your home that evening. Because sometimes a lot of people don't know how to do puja, but they want to do something, but they don't want to do something wrong also. So very simple. Puja is something we're all supposed to know how to do. Not the elaborate one that we invite pandits to do and all of that. A very simple puja is something that is supposed to be something we all know. So we'll do something very simple together, half an hour only, with explanations. The information is on Facebook and WhatsApp. Please see if it's something that maybe you are not interested in because you have a puja you already do, but you may know someone who might be interested in joining for that puja, and you can share it with them. Okay, so the way it'll work is we have a WhatsApp group. You just join that WhatsApp group. It's so totally separate group outside of the community. You join it, and on that group, we'll send the Zoom link, and through the Zoom link, you'll join. So, for security reasons, we can't publish the Zoom link. You know how there's like Zoom, what is it called? Zoom bombing and all of that. And so you join the WhatsApp group, and over there, we will share the Zoom link to everybody. Okay, very simple puja, very simple samagri. If you don't have all the ingredients, if you don't have all the materials, then you can still do the puja. Puja is the kind of thing that can be done mentally as well. It's a feeling that is born in our heart as a result of what we do. So don't stress about what you have and don't have. Get what you can, and I hope that whoever is interested will join. If you know anyone, please do share with them. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Shri Sadgurnath Maharaj Ki Jai.